Do you ever just lay in bed and go back to those days where you were sitting in your room at 3 a.m., drunk of Capri Suns, rambling about existential dilemmas and political intercourses with your only two friends? No? Me neither. I like fights and blood and revenge stories. And if you do too, well, you're a lucky son of a bitch. Because the manga I'll be talking about today, that's right, is about a dude that kills an old perv with an axe straight to the face. The name, Akumetsu, means destroyer of evil. He is a mastermind that isn't particularly smart, not to the likes of this guy at least. His genius resides on the information and on the experience he's able to gain, which makes the character a whole lot more interesting. We all love a good old growth in a character. In the story, he goes about killing all of the scum that sits at the top. Government representatives, politicians, ministers, bureaucrats in general. In deleting all the evil, he has a way to go about it. His motto is one-on-one. One kill, one Akumetsu, killing himself after every single execution. That shows how much he believes in his mission and how strong his morals are. Even if the plot seems to be revolving around the political sphere, do not fear. See what I did there? Akumetsu doesn't have a political stand, and the manga isn't really about politics at all. He simply punishes the people that committed wrongs and made people of his country suffer, and they happen to be politicians. Because of said motto, he's able to inspire the general public. Broadcasting his terrorist attacks, he puts on a show. Imagine if James Corden were to be a mass murderer that explodes after each kill. Akumetsu knows that the way he's completing his mission isn't really the right way to do it. He admits his faults and his own hypocrisy on the said show in front of the whole country, yet again never backing down from his path. He feels human. He has flaws and acknowledges them, which is something I admire about this character. He is never scared to admit that he's doing something that is a little fucked. He made of his mission his life, and he's willing to go through everything to see it completed. Now that we talked about all the boring stuff, you know, the evil people, the morals of Akumetsu and such, we get to the fun part, the way he does it. He is like the manga version of Deadpool, but with more brains. He goes against the whole police department, the military, the government at the same time. Kinda sick if you ask me. The reason why I believe this manga to be so good is the fast-paced feel it gives you, even though there is a lot, and I mean a lot of talking. The curiosity creates in you makes you want to read more, in a cycle of, oh, this person is evil. I really don't like him. He slams an axe in his face. In the first chapter, you see an old creep have a high schooler. In the first chapter, you see an old creep have a high schooler sucking his toes. You heard me right. And he just acts to face the guy. I mean, I don't want to sound like a psychopath, but the satisfaction that gives you is pretty cool. The best thing about this manga is exactly that. This repetition of building your hype, making you wonder how is he going to do it and who is he going to kill next, just makes you want to read more. Gives you plenty of reasons to hate the people he kills, and he does it in such an over-the-top fashion that you cannot not get invested in the story. Akumetsu is a character that you will come to know better further on in the story. You will understand a lot of the things that he does, why he does them, and most importantly, how he does them. But even without knowing, the manga gives you reasons, and it doesn't leave you in the dark. But back to Akumetsu. Akumetsu is inherently a villain, obviously. He murders people left and right. But a villain that you come to sympathize with and maybe like. You know, killing people is wrong, but maybe someone that lets hospitals use blood that is proven to contain hepatitis C isn't that much of a good person. You literally will question yourself the whole way through the manga, asking yourself who's right and who's wrong. I also just want to give a little bit of space to another character in the story. This dude, he yells a lot, but he is definitely a character that deserves a little bit of attention because he represents the consciousness of the people. This cop knows that what Akumetsu does is extremely wrong, but he grows through the story and comes to realize that the world isn't black and white. There's nuances to every dynamic, and he realizes that what Akumetsu did has his reasons. The manga also doesn't take itself that seriously, which helps balancing with the amount of blood and death you read about. There is usually a chibi version of Akumetsu that explains certain mechanics and just overall lightens the mood a little, which I believe to be a great strategy, because it allows you to have an easier time with the read, helping you understand the political and economical situations of the country. The creator of the manga clearly did his research, politically wise, and knew what he was talking about, and he does a great job at dumbing down the whole dynamics, which allowed me to understand everything that was going on. I'm not saying that I'm stupid or I don't know about politics. I mean, don't end the video. I can't end the video like this.